Hey, here's a little disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the MAWP organization. And there are some themes and subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is advised.
That's all. That's just one of the little silly ideas I had. Oh, hold on. Oh, you're pulling a... Are you trying to steal a lighter? You're pulling the sticker off of it?
I'm taking the sticker off my lighter, so I'm not mistaking it for your lighter.
Well, that's actually not my lighter, so...
Oh, well, whoever's lighter it is.
Well, it's even better not to steal their lighter.
Exactly.
Because I want to just come and take their lighter all the time. I was like, you know what? Those guys have a lighter. Fuck those guys. Lighter. They don't deserve that fucking lighter.
They don't.
Take it. There's part of me that's so... I'm always fighting to just put lighters in my pocket like they're mine. They're not mine.
I do that. Yeah, but you know what? I only do that with lighters that are Bics. I won't deal with any other lighter for some reason. But for some reason, I just refuse to use other lighters for some reason. Unless it's like, they have absolutely no choice whatsoever. But other than that, if I have a choice of lighters, I always grab a Bic every time.
There was that point in time in our teens where the lighter game was fierce.
Oh, it was awful. Yeah, I remember. There'd be fights and arguments and shit. Oh, yeah. And then the lighter graveyard.
And I remember, excuse me, the rules of the lighter game were very complex. And if someone asked you for do you have my lighter?
You have to give it up.
You'd have to produce a lighter. You'd have
have
to say, no, this is the lighter I have, or, oh yeah, this is your lighter. You just reach in your pocket and pull out a lighter and say, this is the lighter I've got.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's not mine. Damn it.
Yeah.
There'd be times where I'd have multiple lighters in my pocket.
In different pockets.
Yeah, and I'd know whose lighter was in what pocket. Or multiple lighters in one pocket, because at a certain...
it's just a gamble every time.
Well, because at this point it started to be, we started competing to see who could get the most lighters, and I was determined to win this thing. And Nathan at one point cornered me, and he's like, I know you've got my lighter. And he says, and I know it's in this pocket. Because I was wearing a flannel. And I had lighters in my pants pockets, lighters in my back pockets, and lighters in each of the breast pockets of my flannel. And he was right. I had like 4 lighters in this pocket, though. So I reached in, and I knew what kind of lighter he had, and it wasn't a Bic. And so I pulled out a Bic. It was like, ding. It's like, damn it. Not my lighter. You don't win, Nathan.
Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. These days are all being free. These days are all sharing with me.
Didn't he light the graveyard on fire? What did we do with the graveyard?
Well, we had a lighter graveyard, which was just a small little tiny basket by my bedside that turned into like a 5-gallon drum full of lighters. And after the demise of the whole Potter's Palace era in the late 80s, that party house that I lived at, they both a lot of artifacts went different places, and I remember that the shoe tree went out to a party place out in the woods somewhere, and it hung from a real tree. Because we had a big bush at one point, like of just old shoes that was just a horrible piece of art. And then the lighter graveyard Nathan did take with him and preserved that for a long time, but I think it did eventually get thrown in a fire or something, because lighters, old lighters, they do explode.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All right. This is what I picked up yesterday.
Oh, that's what you picked up. Grease Monkey. Grease Monkey Hybrid. Oh, that's right. I actually brought my glasses with me.
You did yesterday, too.
I know. I always forget, though. Because I squint and look. Okay, so we got 22%. Total 25, 26, 26.4. Smells really good.
Yeah. Here's the thing, is that it doesn't matter if it's a hybrid or if it's a sativa or if it's an indica or whatever. It's what it does.
Yep.
And this does that. This does that. That thing that I like. It hits that spot in my head. It warms it all the way up to the top. It's me a little fuzzy feeling up there.
Wow, this is veteran owned and operated.
And I've tried other stuff by that brand also. What is it?
Black Label.
And it's been very good. Like, I believe that everything I've tried by them was very good.
Wow.
That's my recollection. Because when I looked at the brand after the fact, after I had tried some, I was like, good choice. Yeah, because, again, I've been satisfied. Satisfied customer.
All right.
I believe that they know what they're doing.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm going to keep that in mind. Get the shoes off. Comfortable. So, last night I went to grab a little bit of that, which I was going to do yesterday, because yesterday we planned on doing a show. Before I get started there, I'll just go ahead and
introduce
the show. We are the MAWPCAST 1 radio program from the city of Destiny, Tacoma, Washington, and we come here every week, most weeks of the year, this year, and the last year, to play songs from the greater Tacoma area, the scene in this general region of Pierce County and the further reaches of the netherworld of the South Sound. Is that all the parts? I'm Potter and this is Chris.
Yep.
We're the only ones here today. We were here yesterday to do the show, and we were also joined yesterday by PD Normal. But that show didn't get recorded or didn't get recorded in its entirety. It was a big fiasco.
Yeah.
And that's
basically the card filled up, and so we don't know where it filled up.
And we didn't know that it was filled.
So I'm gonna listen to it, but I mean there could be 10 minutes or it could be almost all of it, but we're just gonna redo it next week.
It's a great lost episode of the MAWPCAST.
Yep.
So that brings me to the story, is that yesterday we were going to go and film outside, and it was it was semi-planned, and then we decided, well, we'll go do it by river, and I figured I would catch a bus or something out there close to you. And I didn't necessarily have the change. I needed to get change, and I was going to get change by getting a little bit of weed and then catch a bus. And then just the time of the day slipped away, and we scrapped that plan, did it in studio, and as I already said, then didn't do it at all. We did it all, but then then have since destroyed all the evidence of that for the most part.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then I go up last night to grab a little bit of weed, and lo and behold, I had change. I had more money in my wallet.
Oh, you didn't even know it?
Didn't even know it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I could have just hopped right on the bus yesterday morning. All I had to do was just walk out the door and hop right on the bus if I would have just checked my wallet further into my wallet, because my wallet's got more folds. If I just, I was looking where I keep money, in here.
Yeah.
And I have, but I wasn't looking here where I don't keep money. And I had money tucked in there. I was like, okay.
All right.
I should actually check more places.
Your high you was thinking about your sober you.
What I probably did was set that money aside for a specific purpose. It's like, this is going to be used for something someday. And then when that day came and I couldn't find it, I was like, I must have spent that money. And
or it just didn't click that you had put the money aside for it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, so here we are to do our show over again.
Yep.
And I had planned on...
Take 2!
Yep. Episode 40. point 2. I'd plan on repeating everything I said yesterday, but I don't remember what I said yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I ain't even going to bother trying to do that. Or we got to play the same songs that we played yesterday?
What do you want to do?
I don't know. That's up to you. I ain't sure what you had formatted ready to go.
Well, that's what was ready to go.
Well, let's just do that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We can do it.
It was just a question. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you know.
I wasn't sure if you had plotted those songs for PD Normal
no,
stuff or whatever.
There were times when I had anticipated people coming in and were trying to somewhat cater in that, but realistically not. Most of the time, I've only got a handful of songs picked out for the day and am throwing them together. Lately, I've been ahead of things and had our whole show planned mostly, and especially on days when we're going out. So that was a day, it was just a going outside day. So I had all the songs kind of mapped out for that.
Gotcha.
But even then, if I don't say what I've played, then I could always change that. And I can always even cut out the parts where I say what we've played and change that. So there are times when I do that for various reasons. It could be any number of reasons. It could be because I just played that band 2 shows ago. I was like, fuck, maybe I should give someone else a shot. Because I do repeat a lot of bands regularly. It's kind of just part of the format. Once a band's been introduced, then I'll try and play them. But dude, there's so much to play.
Oh, I know.
And I wouldn't mind more like requests, like and like suggested playlists, things like that. Play these songs, play this band, play anything, whatever. Like from anyone, not you specifically, but anyone in general. If you go back through the archives of our shows on any of the different places you can find it, you can see all the songs we've ever played on each episode, and so you can get a good feel. There's a broad, diverse array of stuff, but we can start to lose track of things that we've played and need to go back and revisit some artists. And there's things that we still haven't got to yet. So many things, big glaring like holes in like. So if someone's saying, well, you guys think you're so comprehensive, but you're not comprehensive. Well, no, we want to be comprehensive. We're just not there yet. We just haven't got there yet. It's not there yet. That's all. Everything going all right over there?
Yep. All right.
So there are things that we did discuss on the show yesterday that we can revisit.
I think I bit by a mosquito on my face yesterday.
Yeah,
it's in mud fire. Like
I got one on my arm, standing by the church, playing Pokemon.
Looking for Pokemon?
Well, I was just, putting a little Pokemon in a gym because it's more of a bathroom thing or a walking thing. Like occasionally when I'm walking, I'll do it also because it's a thing to do. Little phone app game. So I stopped there by that church for a minute. And I got bit by a mosquito. I knew it happened when it happened. I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, I got this that gas fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
Fire pit. So it was sitting out back. Well, we got the runoff. Any runoff water goes into this pool, not even 75 feet away from us. Except there's mosquitoes. And shit.
Yeah. Speaking of Pokemon, I'm hoping to be selling my Pokemon cards tomorrow, finally. Getting them out of my way. So I'm trying to clear some space. And
there you go.
But at the same time, oh my God, I want to buy baseball cards so bad. Like, it's just like peak baseball cards season right now. It's just like right in the thick of it. Baseball cards technically are getting released all year round. Like, there's a bunch of brands, and they're just they're released all year. Like a different, and some of them are released at stupid times. Like, the Topps company is the premier company in baseball cards, obviously.
Yep.
Although it might not be too obvious. There are other sports cards or trading card in general companies that are bigger than Topps. Topps isn't the biggest trading company in the world. Probably Nintendo, Pokemon, or whatever, or Panini, which does a lot of football and other stuff, soccer. But Topps does the baseball, and Topps has a lot of brands under their umbrella. They have their basic Topps flagship brand of Topps Series 1, Series 2, and their update series at the end of the year. But the Series 1 and Series 2 are their main, your traditional baseball cards, the kind of cards you've seen growing up all your life, just basic Topps cards. And then they've got lower and higher caliber brands. Like their opening day brand is like 99 cents a pack brand, which is actually kind of rad. It's just... And they have collectible stuff from all, price ranges up to like, you can buy cards that are like $400 for one card.
Okay.
I've even done it once. And you can buy a $400 card and open it up and it not be worth $400 because it's just some hack player. Like, and I mean, they're usually not. Like, they're usually something that's going to make this card have a lot of value, and they have a lot of different things to make the card have value. Like, it's an autograph, it's got a piece of the guy's shirt on it, or a piece of the guy's
foil
bat.
back, or it's a different.
Just all kinds of different things.
And stuff.
Yeah, like they're limited edition, or 1 of 1, or 1 of 5, or stuff like that. So, and actually, the $400 card that I ended up buying, it was not worth much. It was worth like less than $100 probably. So it was a big hit, but there was a card underneath it, like that was what they call a redemption card. It's basically a coupon for a different card later on when it's available. So it's like, we're sorry about the crappy card that we're giving you, but guess what? We're giving you this bonus because we already know that we're giving you a crappy card in this $400 card. So what I ended up getting in that $400 card was the Rookie of the Year's autograph on a $400 card. Ooh. So yeah, that was a super score, and it was the second time I had got his autograph because that was the first one, the Corey Seager card.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And that one was like a numbered 2 out of 25, I think, and is itself worth a decent amount because he was a superstar that year. Like, he was out last year with an injury, so, but I think he's back and going strong this year. I'm not following the season as closely because I've been doing the show.
Wow. Yeah, I know I got a bunch of like Star Wars playing cards. Then I think D&D was what I had. I ain't even sure. I mean, I never played D&D. I just accumulated these cards. Somebody brought them over one time, and then they just never left.
It's like Magic or something?
Something like that. Magic the Gathering, yeah.
Yeah, that could have been me who left those because I know.
No, this was one of my ex-wife's son's friends.
Gotcha.
Or some shit like that.
Yeah, I with cards in general, I've just picked up bits of them here and there throughout the years. Like, because I remember in the 90s when Magic started getting popular, I got a hold of some and was checking them out. The art was cool. And the concept of the game is cool. It's just that the nerddom of the games is difficult. And the problem with those games, those style of card games, is that the core mechanics of a game like that is fine. It's cool. But the business side of it wants to continually introduce cards so that they can continually sell cards and keep their game vital. But this glut of cards in a game, while it makes it so that you can be an individual and play your own game and have your own style and have your own unique stuff, it also those unique people tend to be weak because they're not playing what they call the metagame, and the metagame is like, what's the most effective thing? Because people want to make things optimal and efficient as much as they can, and nerds will sit down and they'll crunch numbers and they'll strategize and they'll play a million games with these cards with other nerds until they determine that these are the best, most optimal things that we can do so that we can win the game in 5 turns, and we don't want to fuck around with these people and their stupid fucking hanky pick. So that's what's going to happen. Yeah. And the marketing plays into that also by selling a bunch of cards, making some super strong so that they're creating a metagame for the people to geek out on, who are the hardcore players, and then and meanwhile there's some people who just want to collect cards, and they just want to make a whole collection. And by making, like with Pokemon or Magic, they're releasing a different series several times a year, like with 100 or more cards in it several times a year. So filling those collections becomes crazy and nearly impossible. But it's like it can become just a lifelong fucking obsession for some people.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Same with baseball cards. And baseball cards have, in order for baseball cards to maintain relevancy in the modern era, they do things like parallel versions of these cards. Like, so you can have a card like this card, and this card is a parallel version of a different card. There's a bunch of different versions of this card, basically, in this one series. Some of them are chrome and shiny and reflective, holographic, and some of them are just normal, and some of them have numbers on them, and some of them are purple, and some of them are green, and some of them just have a tint to it. Some of them are black and white. Here's the printing plate from that card, and it's the only one because it's the printing plate. And all these things have a various value depending on the player, the team, the year, the brand in general. That's already full. Smoke it. And cards in general, I just love them. I say it all the time. I talk about them all the time. So I might buy a box. Might buy a box this year because just for fun. I mean, because for the most part, with most boxes that I buy, I can get a return on my money or a profit, because of just the buying strategy that I employ. I'll buy loosely and buy a bunch of different brands that aren't even so worth it, especially if I am ahead in things, because I can make money buying and selling cards. It's just such a time-consuming thing, and it produces so many cards that I don't want to just throw away. Because you get a glut of cards, excess stuff, junk cards that are just your average common cards that are thrown into most brands that aren't worth anything. And this goes for everything, whether it's Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or baseball cards or anything. You're going to get tons of repeats, common cards. So if there was an outlet to turn those over, in putting them in the hands of kids easily or stuff like that, because the card thing in general is, I just feel like it's a healthy hobby. Not everyone's into sports, not everyone's into music, not everyone's into different things, and cards is just it's better than collecting stamps or things like that. Stamps.
Well, it's cards is more. There's more thought in it. You have to think more. There's more going on with it. A stamp is just a stamp.
It's true.
There is a lot of shit that goes along with stamps. Don't get me wrong with there. But with the card, there's a lot more reading. There's a lot more strategy. There's actual a concept behind it. A stamp has always been to get something from one place to the other, and it's art.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is art in a fashion, but it is also information. It's also can be a game. It's several things.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about the game trading cards is that they're also a game. Yes. It does instantly make it an additional thing. And that I think is just fucking rad. Because there are multiple layers to that whole thing. You can just be a casual player of the game, and you can be a hardcore player of the game, and you can be just someone who collects cards and doesn't care about the game. And there's different types of cards you can collect or series or whatever. And yeah, there's so much information contained in a card. There's the type of card that it is, what sport it is, for instance, if it's a sports card. There's the brand of card that it is. So this is a baseball card, stadium, club, baseball. Right away, I can tell that this is gold, this gold imprint, and I know that this year's imprint was always silver, so this is a parallel of that card. This is a gold parallel of the card that is generally printed in silver. some cards are short prints or variations. So you can find a card that is a photo variant or just a print that is not as prolific in the series. Like they've deliberately made it less because in the olden days of baseball cards, some cards got incidentally printed short for whatever reason. It was just an accident or a coincidence of the process that some cards weren't as prominent as others, and that gave them tremendous value, especially if they were a good player. So today they'll make deliberate short prints, and often the only way that you can tell, especially if it's a brand new card, is like looking at the serial number on the bottom, take a magnifying glass and scoping out like every card in a pack, and you can, if the serial number is different, because they should all be identical, unless it's like a parallel or it's an insert. And so if the serial number on a base card, just your normal common card, is different from other common cards in the same series, it could very well be a short print. And I've had a short print like that I've also sold for over $400 in just an off-the-wall thing. Like I bought a box of cards just for the heck of it to try it out. And I'm always looking for the short prints and stuff like that in them. I'm looking for everything, every little subtlety of every card.
Yeah, very nuanced. Yeah.
Yep. And what's going on over there?
I don't know. All right, settle down, Chris. All
Yeah.
right.
So I found a short print in this random box that I bought and did not suspect it to sell for as much as it did, but after knowing a little bit more about it, it was like a cheaper brand. It was the Topps 1, 2, and then Update series, and they had their Update series at the end of the year to kind of pick up anything they might have missed in their series 1 and 2. And have some different stuff for the All-Star game and just different stuff. It's just a very small run of cards that they do around Christmas time for hardcore fans.
Okay.
And I happened to pick up a box of that and get that short print in that. And like it was just a super sought after short print that year in a series that people apparently just go hardcore after short prints. There's other good brands too. There's even brands I've not tried, like this Allen and Ginter. And I was watching some box breaks on the Allen and Ginter the other day, and they have autographs from like pop culture, like star singers and other sports teams, as well as it's primarily baseball, but it's also got just random stuff in it. You know, presidential stuff. You can get an autograph of a president or something maybe in this.
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
crazy. Or presidential artifacts. I don't know. Just different stuff.
A piece of Monica Lewinsky's dress.
I don't know. I think that's all been sold by now.
Probably.
Yeah. But that is the kind of thing that some things do. This all started with Babe Ruth's baseball bat. Like in like the 90s somewhere, a baseball company bought a Babe Ruth baseball bat, and they sliced it up razor thin into little tiny squares, and then they started sliding these squares into baseball cards, and it's made a special card that was a little thicker with Babe Ruth's baseball bat in it.
Oh, nice.
And this became like just this huge way to incentivize like the card industry, and even today in a lot of higher end stuff they have stuff like that. Like that today, even still, they'll buy. Like I had cards that I had a piece of Lou Gehrig's baseball bat and Ty Cobb.
Oh wow!
Yeah, who was a racist, but Lou Gehrig was all right. Those were really fun things to get. Like in terms of like most of the memorabilia is a piece of a guy's shirt. And it's like I could give a shit less about their shirt. Yeah. If they had a piece of the guy's glove or their baseball bat, I think that's cool. Like, cool. Not that I really care or want any of that stuff, but I just do think that it's cool.
You know, a shirt that could almost be, you know, I could take any shirt and say that it's that.
You could, yeah. But there's these things are authenticated because the whole thing, the whole industry. Collectibles are authenticated. They have authentication that go with them, provenance and stuff like that. And for instance, I could take this card to be graded, and that would authenticate it even further. Like, and it would lock in its grade, its condition, and everything like that. And there's a lot of places, and you can grade anything. Like a comic book can be graded. Any cards, anything like that. I think that we're rambling. We should go to songs.
Let's do that.
All right. Get back to the real world of local music. I do want to buy a box of cards so bad. So there are we. Where are we doing? We're starting off the show. Song by Mars Got Spars. Mars Got Bars.
I'm trying to see if I get smoked out, many niggas gon' ride for me. Put the mask and the gloves on, strap up and slide for me. Most of y'all niggas gon' fold up. That's why you bitch niggas always getting rolled up. He be acting like he hated, but he really made me out to be the bad guy. So fucks heavy lies. I can only do for me, and I do for my clan. Is that wrong? Turn Tacoma and attack us. Then I can turn into Osama, send surprise to your man. Not good with a puzzle, rather keep it in peace. Put on O, but I'm even better on D. The road is my witness, never will I switch for a hoe. Rock on my woes, the ones that stay true to the code. How the fuck you a player and get played, my nigga? Falsifying, hella lying niggas change, my nigga. Gotta look before you leave, this ain't your range, little nigga. Most niggas play roles for the fame, I don't get it. Lie for a name, for what? You ain't get it. You ain't rapping what you living, little homie, that's bad business. If you fucking with my brother, I'm making it my business. Ain't way from the start, all the way to the finish. I'm trying to see if I get smoked out, many niggas gon' ride for me. Put the mask and the gloves on, strap up and slide for me. Most of y'all niggas gon' fold up. That's why you bitch niggas always getting rolled up. He be acting like he hit it, but he froze up.
I'm a solid chick, I need solid shit. Cause I'm serving it from the gravel pit. Can't stand the grit, ain't with the shit. Can't serve a hit, so it's good with it. Tools government, spit 16s, make them lean on it. No pause on it, no stores on it. Walk up on it, they don't really want it, I outdone it. I don't run from it, listen, it was come from it. I'm done shining niggas that they ain't love something. Here miles, I'm 100 miles and running. I'm still coming, I'm still coming. It's the purge in this bitch, even if you rich. Hit them like the Sopranos, all high pitch. It's the purge in this bitch, even if you rich. Hit them like the Sopranos, all high pitch.
I'm trying to see if I get smoked out, many niggas gon' ride for me. Put the mask and the gloves on, strap up and slide for me. Most of y'all niggas gon' fold up. That's why you bitch niggas always getting rolled up. He be acting like he hit it, but he froze up.
Only real niggas, so my circle small. Niggas said they beefing, I ain't heard of y'all. Pull up to the spot, let the burner off. Get back in the whip and then I burn it off. Ay, niggas better slide if they get me first. Them niggas better get it if I hit the dirt. Put some money on the head, fuck a face shirt. If they get at one of y'all, they gon' pay for it. Keep a toolie, cause these Julies got these woolies getting moody. See the hate in their eyes and it's Reddit and a ruby. Fully automatics better ring out. Turn a bitch nigga hang out to a range clock. Pull up to bro house with ghost house. Turn the whole house to a ghost house and then we ghost out. All mamas, we them niggas that they talking about. Don't respect it, ain't directed, they ain't talking loud.
Trying to see if I get smoked out, many niggas gon' ride for me. Put the mask and the gloves on, strap up and slide for me. Most of y'all niggas gon' fold up. That's why you bitch niggas always getting rolled up. He be acting like he hit it, but he froze up.
Watching TV, got a little broken. Fucking better.
fall into the way. Emotions high can separate the love alive from the pain inside. When it gets so hard, fight to stay alive. Take a break from the pain inside. Take a space, process, don't hide it all. Instead you run and run. Take a break from the pain inside. Take a space, process, don't hide it all. Instead you run and run. It's time to run away. It's time to run away now. Always now. It's time to run away. It's time to run away now. Always now. Take a break from the pain inside. Take a space, process, don't hide it all. Instead you run away now. Take a break from the pain inside. Take a space, process, don't hide it all. Instead you run away and hide.
Oh yeah, we're doing a show. This is a show that we do. Come back to the show. We just heard a bunch of great songs.
Pig Snout.
That's
I love
right.
those guys.
The Tar Trap by Pig Snout, and we heard Loser Dog, Unraveled,
Oh.
Gold Teeth Time Machine, and Mars Got Bars, Slide for Me.
Right, so in August, I think we're gonna do a podcast around the fire.
Camping.
Yeah, camping. So we'll figure that out and stuff.
We can still go do one of these on location shows too. It was
Yeah.
just didn't happen yesterday because I was unprepared.
Oh, I know. Well, yeah, we gotta do that.
Next week I should be prepared, or
Right.
any other.
I just
week
want
after
to do one with the campfire and do one kind of night and stuff. And thought it'd be kind of neat. And then, if have you ever slept in a hammock?
Slept in one. Jeez, yeah, but
Is
it's
it
been a
bad
long
for you?
time.
Is it not good for your back?
Oh, these days I don't think I would jump at the chance.
Oh,
No.
all right.
Like I'm much more down on a hardwood floor or something like that, or the ground.
Well, I was gonna say if we go camping,
Yeah,
because I sleep in the van.
yeah, yeah. It all depends on where and when and how. That's
Right.
all facilitated. But yeah, I could maybe. I'd have to. Excuse me. I'd have to feel that out ahead of time because I'm looking at it in my mind and I don't know. I've had back issues since I've had a back problem. I got injured on the job there about 10, 12 years ago. And that messed my back up a little bit, which I don't necessarily always account for, but sometimes it flares up and causes me issues. And then I remember, oh yeah.
Yeah. I know, me too. That was me daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to do one around the campfire. I thought it'd be kind of cool to do one around the campfire and shit and bullshit and hanging out and stuff. Because I got that gas fireplace, so no matter what, we could do it anywhere. Kind of cool.
You have that solar panel you've not utilized yet, huh?
Nope, haven't utilized that yet at all.
It's just kind of a small thing, right? It's only about this tall.
What's that?
The solar panel, like it's about that
It's
tall.
this tall, about that wide.
Just
and there's
that
four
wide.
of them.
Oh, there's 4 of them.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah,
this wide by about that tall together.
card table. And how much power does that generate? I know you've not got to use it, but like, what's the deal with that thing?
I'm gonna have to look up how much power it generates.
Well, you don't have to do that right now.
Yeah,
It's just a random question. I'm looking at a bug right now.
because that's how I'm still trying to get. Because I've got one battery box,
Uh-huh.
to put the battery in. So it's something happens to it, it's a safety thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to get one more of those, and then the 2 batteries, and then I have everything. I just got to hook it all up, and I'm gonna hook up everything except for the panels, because the panels I got to figure out how to, because I want to connect them all together. Because the way they're set up now, it's just like you got the one panel with this thing that tilts out, so it's like a tilt back.
Yeah.
And it's that, and then you just plug this wire in to connect them together. And that's basically it now. But to me, it's really flimsy. I kind of want to make it a little bit more stable and stuff. And I mean, I'd love to put it on top of the van.
Yeah. Ideally.
Yeah. But I would have to encase it in something if I was going to do that, because there's no way that could survive the wind. So.
I see. Yeah, I would like to have some mounted on my roof that could withstand the wind. And I had some plans mapped out for that. And that would basically make me completely self-sustaining, because I could then just get water from anywhere and heat that water, and that's really the only thing lacking, other than a restroom, obviously. But I can make accommodations and move around and go anywhere then, and just have power in the back and to my refrigerator and things like that at all times, just constantly going. And that's kind of, whether it's just to live in or for just even camping, that's what I want it to be, because I want to be able to just camp anywhere, like, and not have to rely on or be hindered by fire, burn ban, shit like that. Anything.
That's what I was doing, basically doing the same thing little by little. And then I just need to build a little drawer for because my bed in the back, there's probably about, I don't know, foot of space. Maybe a foot and a couple more inches or whatever of space by about like 3.5 feet wide. Then I want to create a drawer that I pull out that has the batteries, and it has, some of the camping supplies and stuff, some of my tools and whatnot. But I have to have it on rollers.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then when I pull it out, it has to be able to set. So I have to have some sort of like leg that pops out that'll hold the weight of it and whatnot.
While you were describing that, I had a vision of a mattress that was on tracks that you could push up, and it became a couch, like a futon, but it's just a mattress, like a regular mattress on tracks, and you just push it right up, and so your bed becomes a back seat straight across your back. That'd be rad. Build that. And
basically the bench that's there is already kind of like that.
Yeah.
That was made for the van, because it sits upright, but then you could make the back go all the way flat.
Oh, I see.
So it's an insulated bed. The only reason I don't have that in there is because my lift. Well, that has to slide forward a little bit to go down. Well, when it's upright, it's already hitting the lift, so it won't slide forward. So the only way you can have it flat is if you unlock it from the floor and then pull it back a little bit, but then it's resting just on top on this thing. So if you sit on one side too much, it's going to go sideways. It'll just flip totally sideways. So yeah, so that's why it's in my storage unit. It's not in the van. Now I had to make the one that I made. And the one I made it out of 2x4s. But what I want to do is I want to get a metal bed frame that I could cut to make fit in there, and then I could just bolt it to the wall, and then I could just put down a piece of plywood on top, and that way if I ever need to move stuff or whatever, I could pull the plywood out, and then it's all open.
Yeah.
And it's an open cavity and stuff. So
completely unrelated to that, I just was thinking about how you got wheelchairs and stuff like that motorized. There's that bridge over the freeway, the walking bridge.
yeah,
there's ramps.
yeah, oh yeah.
So we could do our show from over the freeway.
No, oh that'd be cool.
It'd be a little loud.
That'd be
But we could
yeah. But we could prepare for that. We could just do.
we got headphones on and mics, and these mics are pretty
we'll know
directional. Yeah.
whether or not we could hear each other
Yeah.
or whatnot. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Of course, I do have to get batteries for my chair now
Oh yeah.
because
If only it was solar panel.
what?
If only it was solar.
I know, right?
Put those solar panels on that thing, dude. Then you can go for fucking
but see,
ever.
I have to figure out how to get to the batteries because that's part of a problem too. Because this thing is freaking ridiculously made.
Yeah.
So I have to figure out how to get to the batteries. But I got it, and it's great, and I could totally use it, but I had to wait to get the ramp made. And then I had to wait for my van, and I'm still waiting because I still won't haul it around in my van because I'm still waiting to get that back brake fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's 300 pounds all by itself, and I want to make sure that my brakes are working when I have that in the car. So yeah, and in that time, the batteries, because I kept it charged, because I would utilize it around the house a little bit, but then the batteries just went tits up because they weren't charged. Yeah. So now I got to pull the batteries out, and they're like maybe $100, $200 a pop for these batteries. So it's going to cost me a little bit of money, but I first had to figure out where they're at, how to get to them and shit. So yeah, but I don't want to screw it up because it's like a really expensive wheelchair and shit. So it has a bunch of hydraulics that tilts back and shit. So figure it out without fucking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think we talked about it yesterday, but I don't remember all of it anyway, so that's good. What about movies? You seen movies lately? You've not seen movies? You've still not seen any of the Marvel movies anymore? Since,
No, I haven't
Captain
seen
Marvel?
a whole bunch. I saw it. Wait, what did I see? Oh, I just saw Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
I actually bought it,
Cool.
and it's actually a pretty good movie.
Looks
Pretty
good.
cool. I dig it. The end was pretty cool and shit. I liked it a lot. What else did I see? There's something else I saw, but I just can't remember off the top of my head.
You'd mentioned Stranger Things.
Oh yeah. I watched the season 3 of Stranger Things, which is freaking amazing. Just like all the other Stranger Things, and that's a series that is just like totally different than a lot of stuff that's out there. It's all based in the 80s and stuff. I mean, you dig it specifically because you're in and when you're watching it, it's the 80s.
Uh-huh.
I mean, everything around you, the haircuts, everything is the 80s, and it totally makes it believable. And it's cool, especially the way they talk, everything.
The 80s was a bad decade for haircuts, man. Like, it was one of the worst.
The bowl haircuts.
Just all of them.
mullets,
Just the whacked out perms, especially the girl hair, the hairspray hair. The hairspray hair got out of control. I mean, that bled over into glam.
That's half the reason why our ozone layer's all fucked up.
It's just quarter. Just portion. Yeah, Aquanet, man. That stuff was just amazing. Hairspray. You could just do wonders with it. Sculpt hair and do just anything you wanted. Aquanet was great stuff. The girls know what I mean.
Is that still a brand nowadays?
I don't know. I think that they probably... Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because it was so good and popular, but I think it was, like, deadly.
Probably bought out by somebody. Then yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I haven't followed it. I've not used hairspray in a long, long time. since the 80s, really.
I'll use my girlfriend's every once in a while if I get my hair sticking out the side of my head.
Dude, that's your personality.
Huh?
That's your personality. You don't want to tack down your personality, bro. Let that fly.
Well, that's what I gotta. In those situations, every once in a while, I get a situation where I have to look responsible.
Tone it down, rein it in. Don't want to be intimidating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Don't want to be threatening.
Class it up a little bit. All right, maybe we should play more songs. You think?
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
That really long central bridge where it goes back to 4/4. It's kind of relaxed. Okay. Ignoring that bridge, it goes essentially 4 stanzas of the bridge. Departed from your land, shape shifted. I'm feeling dizzy.
treat a girl like that. To treat a girl like that. To treat a girl like that. And if you get the note I wrote to you, I'll be on a one-way train to tickets to anywhere but here. You gon' ring me up by 9:05. I know you'll cut that side now with a packet of sweet and low. Sweeten up leaves, last cup of crow. 'Cause he ain't a true man, and it takes a blue man. Treat a girl like that.
Lonely is she, as her heart is sad and blue. Her lover's gone, the one that was so true. The land she loved has taken him away, left her alone just to cry throughout the day. But her light will always burn till the day of his return. She's just a girl. When nighttime falls and she slowly lights her lamp to guide him home from his unforgotten camp, she sees his face in the distance of her mind, never leaving her, never treating her unkind. But what she doesn't know is that he won't come home. She's just a girl in love. She's just a girl in love.
But if someone stepped up to do the production part of our show, that'd be great. If we could just be the talent. This is because let's be real here. We don't belong doing this type of production. Like,
No.
you're a sound guy. You know where your realm of expertise lies, and I've talked into a mic before, so I can continue to do that.
Usually when I'm talking in the mic, I'm saying kick drum. All right, tom 1, tom 2, snare drum. No, bass player, shut up. All right, thank you. Tom 2. Wait, no, snare. Sorry, snare. All right, overhead. No.
It's experience. Gives you confidence.
Yeah, tell the guitar player to stop diddling.
Yep. Story of my life. We are back from our set of songs there, and if you're PD Normal and you're listening to the show, the songs are not quite the same as they were yesterday. But for anyone else, you don't know what the songs were yesterday.
Yeah.
And the songs we just played were I'm Stoned by Mr. Grinch for no reason other than that's the song to play. We also heard The Blokes. She's Just a Girl in Love. We heard Ain't None of My Business by Bolo. We started it all off with Little Love by the group Mr. Master. They from Puyallup? Is that where they're from?
No, I'm really not sure.
And you're supposed to get on top of this stuff.
They played so many times at Luigi's, I just assumed that they're like right around this area.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people are from this area. It's a popular place to be. It's cheaper to live than Seattle. It's the new Seattle.
Yeah. The new Seattle. Yep. I believe that.
It's going to be overpopulated soon. They're building all these high-rise condominiums and places around here.
Well, I know in Orting, they're just okayed like 600 apartments.
Oh, wow.
Or some shit like that. And I'm just thinking, okay, 600 apartments. There's at least 2 people per apartment.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, if not more. So that's 1,200 people.
Oh, yeah, at least.
And that's usually at least 1 car per apartment. Maybe 2. So that's 600 to, let's say 800 cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything's going to shit.
Now, I don't drive down that far frequently, but I know that a lot of the farms that were down past the high school there, right outside of Orting, got bought up, and they've been building apartments there for years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the extent of that, really.
Well, mostly houses. Mostly big, huge housing complexes.
Gotcha.
And now they just want to do a giant apartment array and shit, which is freaking just ridiculous.
So are there any farms left down there?
There's a couple.
Yeah, like you pick farms? Any like berry farms?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There's the raspberry farm. There's still the ones that are doing all the corn.
Oh yeah.
And then which seems to me like it's only done for Halloween or some shit like that, because I don't know.
Well, corn does isn't it ripe late?
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
And then pumpkins. A lot of pumpkin farms.
Yeah.
And there's some rhubarb. But that's like in Sumner and Orting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the rhubarb grower of the country.
It's the rhubarb belt. Everyone knows this.
Well, yeah, I had no idea. I didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, that's amazing and good to know. If y'all want your rhubarb fix, you just go on down there and don't eat it raw. I think it's poison, or it's the leaves. Is it the leaves that are poison? Something about it's deadly poison.
The leaves. You don't want to eat the leaves.
Yeah.
You can eat the stalk, but
you
can't eat the leaves.
Yeah. So I know that down there farther in the between places like Alderton and Sumner, there are other farms, like Spooner Farms is over there, and I don't know what all they offer either, but it's not U-Pick or anything, is it? It's just, I don't know.
I think they have U-Pick, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been so long since I've done anything like that. I've just been starting to wonder about some of these things. I know that
they had strawberries. A place I'm thinking, I'm not sure.
Off of 72nd is the Charlotte Park, which is Blueberry Park. It's got like blueberry bushes galore, like dozens of them, 70 or maybe hundreds. Could have 400 fucking blueberry bushes. It's got a lot of fucking blueberry bushes, dude. A lot of them. It's somewhere between 70 and 470. I don't remember exactly, but it's a lot. So it's just probably 470. It's fucking a whole lot. You can probably look it up on the thing, Charlotte Park. Yeah, it's delicious blueberry season. Like, I mean, they have a variety of them, and they ripen throughout the summer. So they can be, some of them will be getting ripe into like October. And I want to go there and get some blueberries before they're no longer any, because they are, as many as there are. There's always some to get, but you do have to kind of look around for a while sometimes, depending on the time. But it's a good place to go, and I wouldn't mind going and getting some strawberries too from these places.
Oh, and then they got raspberries too.
Raspberries too.
Those are ones where they're coiled up.
Oh yeah.
They're wrapped up like in a coil. You'll see them during the winter and stuff. The rows that are all wrapped up in coils. Those are the raspberries.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. I never realized it was like that until somebody pointed it out, and I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah, you guys got grapes too, right?
Yeah.
I meant to think about this way early in gardening season, is that I wanted to get some starts of grapes from you if I could.
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you ever started any? Made starts of them?
No, but I mean, I'm sure Frank and my mom have.
Yeah. Because my mom was wanting some grapes.
And they'd be more than happy to say, cut a chunk off.
Yeah, a start is a start. You can start from just a snip of a plant. I got really good at starting a variety of plants when I was doing just indoor house plants in the 90s. I got very good at it, and I would go, like, in a lot of restaurants or places you can find plants, live plants, and like if I saw a fancy plant, I would I'd take a little snip off of it. And in those days I used to have my sweater too, which was baggy. So I would take a snip off of a plant and tuck it into my sleeve, and then delicately carry it home. The conservatory that's up there in Wright Park, I used to go to all the time, and take little starts of plants, just little starts of exotic plants, and then take them home and learn to grow them. That was lots of fun too.
Nice.
Yeah.
They got that death plant there, don't they?
Death plant?
Mm-hmm. It only blooms like every decade or something like that. And it smells
stench blossom?
Smells like fucking a decaying human or something like that.
I think so. I think. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember. I know that it does have a century plant. Yes, century plant that blooms every 100 years is my understanding of it, or approximately. And it did bloom in our lifetime here a while back.
You know what? I would have assumed after it bloomed and didn't bloom again that it was dead. It's not blooming. Something's wrong with this. Fucked up.
Well, some plants bloom infrequently, or biannually, or only under certain conditions.
Yeah.
Some plants need a certain temperature and a certain amount of sunlight and a certain degree of humidity, and if it's not humid enough, then I'm not going to bloom. It's the way that some fucking plants are. Weed is weed. They call it weed for a reason, because it'll just fucking grow.
Yeah.
Like it'll grow in any fucking conditions. It'll grow in styrofoam. It'll grow in nothing. You don't even need anything. It'll just grow. If you just start that thing, you can just make it grow, and somehow it'll just and there are some plants that are like that. There's little air plants. The fuck is that?
I know,
it's an air plant.
Yeah. Just holding them up in the sky, and they just grow.
Cactuses. If you water a cactus, it dies. It's like, oh It was fine. It was doing just fine. Nope. It decided I needed to water it.
Well, now it's dead. Good job.
I have managed to keep a lot of cactus alive and like an aloe vera for long, indefinite periods of time until I gave them away. But jade, can't grow jade. I've grown one for like 8 months and then killed half of it and then grew the other half for another 3 months and killed that half, and that was about it.
Wow.
Didn't even make it a year. Yeah. Other plants though grow magically for me. Jade, something I don't get about jade. Something about my life and a jade just doesn't mesh.
Wow.
I don't know what it is, Chris.
Are they super finicky or?
I guess, or just they don't want to be touched or looked at or thought of or anything. Yeah. If you don't know what they need, then they're just not even gonna live. Fuck, you don't get it.
Like,
why am I even here?
Your house has white walls. I'm dead.
Yep.
I'm dying.
You have a fern, dude. A fucking fern.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Dead.
Yeah.
I'm out.
A wandering Jew? No, nothing to do with the wandering
Spider
Jew.
plant? What?
Yeah, spider plants. Oh my god. What are we, 12?
Fuck. God forbid you bring a petunia in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea where we are in terms of the show, this segment 3, and bong hits. So,
all right. Well, let me bong hit,
okay.
and we'll go from there. They're one of these tasty morsels.
Did you like that at all?
Yeah, I did.
All right. I mean, you don't have to like it. You can be honest with me. You can give me your honest opinion. You're like, I didn't do it. It's just like smoking air. Thought that I was chewing on straw. Was pissed off the whole time. You must get high on lawn clippings, Jack. Because I smoked both those lids and I don't feel nothing.
Yeah, I went and met up with Pete today for that trivia thing.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of cool. Seeing him outside of his office.
Is he a reporter? Mild-mannered reporter in the daytime?
Lawyer.
That would have been my other guess. He seems very lawyery. Not in a bad way. Not like most lawyers. But not that lawyers are bad.
Some are. Some are crooked. Some are dirty. But that's with everything.
Yeah. It's every single thing. Like, I mean, it's the culture we live in. It's perfectly acceptable to be
yin and yang. Everything's got to be yin and yang.
That doesn't got to be.
Equally bad and good. Well, it just seems like that's what it always ends up being.
I think that there's
more yin than yang, or more yang than yin.
Come
on, spit it out.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to gauge exactly what's going on or where it's going to go. I do have a good feeling about where things are going to go. It just doesn't look good, and it's not going to give people a lot of hope for a while. I don't think that people are going to be too excited about the way that things pan out in the immediate future, and think that there's probably some super dark shit on the horizon, and it's going to make people go, "Oh fuck." Oh fuck! Oh, yeah. that's super fucked. That's just super fucked, and there are going to be such fucked up things that happen that it's going to make people like who are against that just like, it's not even going to be violent. It's just going to be like, it's like how your parents used to say to you, I'm not even mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yep.
That's how it's going to be. Everyone's going to be really, really disappointed, and then.
I see that happening 100%.
Yep. That's our future. It's gonna be humbling. Yeah, let's go back to songs. So it's happier there.
Bye.